Today we're going to talk about keyboards. This is going to be my first video where I focus on shortcuts, and in this video I'm going to talk about the keyboard, specifically my keyboard. Yeah. But before we talk about the software, I just want to show you. So this is the Greek version. Here it's Zeus. Yeah. And here's Poseidon with a trident, and yeah, and Aphrodite. So, okay, now that you've seen the hardware, we can talk about the software. And this keyboard is called the Sweep. It's open source. It has 34 keys. It's a split keyboard, so this means I can take this freely. Its columns are staggered, not the rows are staggered. The usual keyboards, the rows are staggered. And yeah, I'm going to talk about the firmware. So basically it's running ZMK. It's also open source, and you write some config file, and there you define basically how the keys, when you press them, how do they behave. And this is ZMK's mainly Bluetooth first firmware. You can obviously use it with USB, but it's not really a thing. Yeah, so let's look at the key map. Okay, so before we look at the key map, I just want to show you that it's pretty easy to use several devices. For example, now I'm on the computer, connected with the computer, but I can also connect with my phone and use everything there if I want to. Now that you've seen the hardware, I will tell you about the software. So this is running ZMK. It's open source firmware, and the key map is defined in a config file basically, with lots of documentation. Yeah, and now I'll show you my visualization of my key map. I make a PDF with Draw.io, and I don't use, as you can see already, I don't use QWERTY, so I use COMAC-DH. So the more common letters are on the home row, so this is where the fingers rest. And yeah, so the top left is describing a single tap of the button, and the holding of a button is in the center. And then there on the edges, there are also symbols. This represents combos. So if I press several letters at the same time, then yeah, I do this. For example, here the arrow keys. Yeah, because I like to use the arrows. So basically that's already my base layer. One tap of the right thumb is a space, and of the left one is shift. And if I hold the right one, it's symbol layer, left one here, navigation layer, and so on. This should be tab. I don't know why it doesn't render, but yeah, you get the point. So yeah, I feel like the most important part from using the keyboard properly is actually using the home and end key and page up, page down. Obviously you have like the browser back key, or like media keys, like sound or brightness. Also, I have a mouse, for example. If I don't want to use like just plug in this keyboard and I don't have a mouse plugged in, I can still use it relatively comfortably. And I can also scroll, because sometimes, for example, here the arrows are actually focusing on something else, not the page navigation. I cannot scroll up and down with the arrows, so now I can just scroll. Then I have the symbol layer, just the numbers basically, it's the most important part. And yeah, if I hold them, it's the F keys. And I've got tap dances. So basically when I double press my tap dance, I do parentheses. So for example, like you can see here, these are all going to produce the parentheses. If I just usually I just want to press it once, like the open one, and the closed one is getting done by the IDE, usually automatically. But if not, I just double press it, and the cursor is in the middle, obviously, right? And long press is just the closed one. Yeah. So, and then I have the shifted symbol layer, because Shift 9 would be like some bracket, right? Or Shift 0. I don't use them. I have them on the tap dances. So that's why I assign different keys. For example, the dollar or the euro on a long press, or single quote, double quote, or equal instead of Shift 0, or whatever it is by default. Yeah, that's very useful. And keep in mind, I'm doing all in this. Usually I'm in the US layer, but I also have German, Italian, and US International. I'm a fan of US International because I think it's the most versatile. And yeah, it's also, yeah, it's interesting, but the way how you capture the keys, for example, like you have to figure it out. It's not straightforward, especially if you have 3 different languages you type in, but it is possible. And then you might also be wondering, okay, what is this key? This is the leader key. So basically, if I press that, and then a different key, it's gonna be like umlaut. Usually I do that, but there's also Greek. I mean, I don't know if it's really useful, but I don't know alpha, beta, I mean E, I don't know, and then Greek. It's not really useful, but yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. And I've got emojis. Usually I just do the thumbs up, so it's just numpad, it's just long pressing with the pinky, this one, and then just pressing the button. I don't really know all of these, but it's just a fun game, like if I want to be M, you know. Yeah, and also having a numpad, obviously. That's why it's called numpad. And then yeah, the adjust layer, just to I don't know, switch between the devices. If I want to use the phone, or yeah, if I want to use the PC or whatever. 2 things I forgot to mention, so which is quite important, I would say. Usually when I mistype, I want to delete the whole word, so that's why I have Control backspace on a key, and on another key just backspace. Yeah, but I mean, obviously I can just hold this key for the modifier control, but still it's more comfortable that way. And another thing is this leader key. If I press this leader key, it automatically deactivates the symbol layer. So I just have to press this leader key on the symbol layer, and then the A for the umlaut, and the other ones, like just that. Just 2 more keys. I mean, long pressing this leader key, and then the key I want to do. And also, for example, this is Sigma, right? I can do it again with the shift, like while I hold shift. It's also the correct Greek. I mean, same works with the normal umlauts. I can also shift them. I mean, as intended, I guess. So if you enjoyed this, I hope I can see you in the next video. It's gonna be about the clipboard manager.